Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very exciting video to get into because not only do we have, massive Switch 2 rumors, updates, news, and leaks, all that good stuff, but this is just a very exciting week for gaming and potentially, I don't know how true this is, but there's a leak about a Nintendo Direct coming possibly this week. Just a bunch of stuff is going on, right? So we have a lot to break down. Let's go and get right into this video. So I don't know if my camera is picking this up or not, but I have a new cat right here. Her name is Cleo, and we rescued her a couple of days ago. And she always just pops up whenever I'm recording. So, like I said, I don't know if my camera's picking this up. You guys might think I'm just petting nothing. But there is something there, I promise you. That aside, so many updates, news, rumors, leaks. It's the first of the month. The Switch 2's anniversary is coming up, which I don't think Nintendo will do anything for that. But there's just so much happening that over the next 2 weeks, I think that it's pretty much going to set up the rest of the year in gaming, and it's pretty exciting. So before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter so we can keep our communities growing, and let's just go ahead and get right into this one. First, let's talk about some new Switch games, or I guess Switch games that were fixed on the Switch 2, right? There's a list out there of some Switch games that just don't work on the Switch 2 for whatever reason. And periodically, Nintendo will update this list for games that they have fixed some way or another. And we have a new list here. There's a couple games on here that I think that really stick out, like Dragon Quest Builders, Monster Hunter Stories, Overcooked, and Wolfenstein Youngblood. So if any of these games were games that you were trying to play and you couldn't, well, you probably can play them now. And it's just really cool to see Nintendo is like fixing these as they go, because there's something like 12,000 Switch games that they had to test, which is kind of crazy. And then that makes me think that Nintendo also tests those naughty little games that are on the eShop. You know the ones I'm talking about. Speaking of games that were not working on the Switch 2, why don't we talk about a Switch 2 game? And apparently, Yoshi in the Mysterious Book has a game-breaking bug, and that's pretty shocking. So Nintendo Japan sent out a message to gamers that had received numerous messages from players saying they had run into a significant bug in the game, and Nintendo has confirmed the findings. But Nintendo states that the bug starts in Chapter 4. If the players unlock the index feature and skip Mr. E's explanation, the bug can then transpire at any times players start Bewilder Bird research, don't make any discoveries, and then return to the index. After this point, players will be unable to proceed and won't be able to complete the game. So Nintendo is currently working on a patch to fix these issues. So what it sounds like to me is you're just basically like soft locking yourself in the game. I don't think it's so much that the game is broken, but maybe the way they designed the game to progress. There's some holes in that. So maybe you just wait for them to patch this, or maybe you just have to restart the game entirely. I'm not sure. Kind of crazy to hear this about a brand new Switch 2 game. Now, arguably one of my most anticipated games currently, as well as a lot of people. I think this is leading like the chart for most anticipated Nintendo games, at least, which there isn't that many, right? But we have a huge leak for Pokemon Winds and Waves, and this breaks down some of the stuff going on in the story, as well as one of the gimmicks, which we've heard about this a few times already, but it really is starting to look like this is going to be like one of the main features. So recent leaks are giving players an early teaser of what to expect from the story. In the same way that 3 people would accompany you throughout your journey in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, allegedly that's going to be the same thing happening in Pokemon Winds and Waves, and I actually really do like that. Also, the champion is believed to be playing a more active role in Winds and Waves, antagonizing the player early in the game. And the leak hints at a seed Pokemon set to play a major role in the game's plot, rumored to fulfill a role similar to a third legendary. And there will be a big corporation who will try to steal that Pokemon from you, We have Amazon out here paying people no wages, and apparently in Pokemon Winds and Waves they have big corporations just stealing Pokemon. Nothing ever really changes here. So the new battle gimmick is referred to as Netsu in Japanese, and this is related to the weather, and that will play a role with the villains as well. And I just feel like that's going to be such a cool concept, right? We had the Terraforms, we had the Mega Pokemon. If they could do something really cool with the weather, and maybe that changes the Pokemon's type, I just think it's going to be just really neat. So I am so damn excited for this game. I know we have to wait till 2027, but I'm actually pretty happy they're taking their time, because it looks like it's shaping up to be the Pokemon game we've all been expecting. And yeah, that's good that we're back on track. So now quickly, let's talk about a Nintendo Direct leak that I honestly think has, no legs, no validity, no really nothing, right? It's just a random post. But it does bring up a conversation that I would like to have, because normally, any year before this year, you could kind of follow a schedule with Nintendo or a guide with Nintendo. But I don't think that's the case anymore. So I'll be showing you this leak right here. This is from a Japanese Nintendo focus thread, and apparently there's going to be a Nintendo Direct on June 4th. So could this happen? Sure, right? And obviously this is a massive week for gaming. We have the Sony State of Play, which I will be streaming that tomorrow. We have Summer Games Fest, I think, starting on Friday. We have an Xbox event, I believe, starting this weekend. So a Nintendo Direct thrown in here, that would be absolutely incredible. And yeah, normally you would say, well, Nintendo's not going to do that because there's so much other stuff going on. But honestly, I think everything is just off the table now. So much that we're getting Nintendo Directs announced like 15 minutes before they go live. Now, I don't think that would be the case with a general Direct. It just doesn't seem like that's something that's going to happen. But never say never, right? So, there's all this hype going on. And at that Xbox showcase and that PlayStation event, I bet we're going to see some logos pop up that say Nintendo Switch 2 as well. So why would Nintendo themselves not kind of cross-promote and have their Direct at the same time? Well, because it's Nintendo, and they don't follow any rules, even though there's not any real rules, right? So yeah, I'm seeing this leak going around quite a bit. Do I think it's real? No. But it is still fun to go over because Nintendo Direct season is officially starting now. So I'm going to start covering all these damn leaks, which I normally do anyway. Now, something I'm 100% sure we're going to see at that Direct, or, maybe they do a random Direct just for this game. But something I'm pretty sure we're going to see is Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. And today we have a leak for Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, and I think this is just straight up legit. So much I think this is the actual art book that is included in like the game case, or maybe something sold separately. I don't know, but I think this is an official product. So the post has no idea on the validity of this, but this leak is so minor and would be strange to go out of your way to fake, and I do agree with that. We can see an art book page featuring 2 generic classes that seem to match the outfits we've seen in some of the generics in the trailer. And shout out to the Fama boards and the Fire Emblem Discord for finding these 2. And yeah, this would truly be crazy to go out of your way and fake. Now, there are some people who are like, I don't even want to say the words on YouTube. I'll probably get demonetized. But there's some people out there that do this kind of stuff for whatever reasons, right? Maybe they're obsessed with this kind of stuff. Maybe they like to cause some chaos online. Or maybe this is just real. And I'm going to go out of my way and say it seems pretty real. Now, they also included this picture right here, which I believe is from the trailer. And it's showing these classes right here, right? So those are the classes that the art book is showing off. Now, that's why I was saying I don't know if this would be included in the case, or this would be a pre-order bonus, or whatever reason. So time will tell on this, but I think we're definitely going to see something Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave related this month, because I feel like this is an August release. And now I'm about to show you something that can change just your Switch 2 for the better entirely. And I seen this and I thought, there's no way, but it's true. And that is making your Switch 2 way faster. So I found this post over on Twitter that says, in case you missed it, increase your Switch 2 download speeds by 2 to 5 times instantly. Go to System Settings, go to Internet, select your network, change the details. Turn off IPv6 connection, set MTU to 1500, enjoy massive improvements. And this really does work. So just keep in mind, some people's internet connection, whatever your provider is, I guess, some are IPv6 compatible and some are not. And if yours is not compatible and this is on, turn that off. But obviously, if it is compatible, then probably leave it on. But more times than not, it seems like turning this off actually makes a huge, massive improvement. And I gotta say, man, the Switch 2 is fast. The eShop is great. Sometimes downloading games takes absolutely forever. And after switching this setting, I had to buy FIFA or FC 26 for an upcoming sponsored video I'm doing. And the game downloaded in 20 minutes. And that is a massive game to download. So I'm just going to say this actually works. But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this? Because your opinion matters most. So in the comments below, I would love to hear from you guys. We have a very exciting next 2 weeks in gaming happening. And yeah, there's some huge announcements on the way. And we're going to be breaking all those down. So make sure you're following along. right here on YouTube. So hit a like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Come hang out on live streams. Consider becoming a channel member. And you guys know me. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace.